Like and subscribe right now, or the spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. About 180 million years ago, Gondwana, a supercontinent, split. Australia was one of the breakaway factions. Since then, it's become distinct from the rest of the world, with over 80% of mammals, plants, and reptiles being unique to Australia, and sometimes found nowhere else. In today's episode, we examine 10 creepy animals spotted in Australia. Number 1. Blue-ringed octopus. An Australian woman risked her life by picking up one of the world's deadliest animals and filming it while it lay in her palms. She wasn't scared to hold the deadly animal and show it to the world. After uploading the video on TikTok, her followers warned her of the danger of her actions. Although her location is unknown, the blue-ringed octopus is found in temperate southern waters in Australia, in rock pools, reefs, and shallow waters. It uses its venom to feed on shrimp or crabs while paralyzing them. They're toxic to humans, as they poison them with tetrodotoxin. Blue-ringed octopus are pale brown and identified by the blue lines covering their body and blue rings on their arms. This octopus is found at beaches across Sydney and intertidal reefs and seagrass birds. Thanks to their venom, they're considered one of the most dangerous sea creatures on the planet. Their bite not be felt at first, but symptoms may surface a few minutes later with numbness of the tongue, lips, and difficulty breathing, and paralysis of the breathing muscles. Number 2. Saltwater crocodile. The Australian saltwater crocodile is the largest reptile in the world, with a large head that stretches from each eye along the center of the animal's snout. Its body is covered with oval scales, and juveniles are known for their pale yellow coloration and black patches on their tail and body. They retain this color for several years, until they become adults. However, adults have a darker color with white or yellow marks. This saltwater crocodile species is territorial. They aren't tolerant of their kind, as they fiercely drive away their male rivals. These night hunters spend their days moving through the water and sunbathing while searching for food at night. Since they're cold-blooded, they constantly maintain their body temperature. When the weather gets too hot, they dive into the water with their eyes and nostrils outside until they cool down. Juveniles make chirping sounds to attract their mothers or keep members of their creche together. Number 3. Dingoes. The dingo is Australia's wild dog. This ancient breed was introduced into the country by Asian seafarers 4,000 years ago. Archaeological findings reveal that this animal was in the country about 3,250 years ago. Dingoes give birth to live young and feed them via their mammary glands that produce milk. Their coat color depends on where they live. However, the individuals in the desert areas have golden yellow fur, while those in forested areas have darker tan or black fur. This dog's relatively broad head and erect ears make it the largest mammal carnivore in the country. With its teeth longer than other domestic dogs, it's the envy of many dog species. Dingoes live on Australia's mainland but prefer grassland to woodland, extending to the forest end. After European colonization and the growth of pastoralization, many dingoes were removed from the farming areas. However, they were common in other areas of the country except in the arid eastern half of Western Australia, or Northern Territory, and parts of Southern Australia. These opportunistic carnivores feed on wombats, kangaroos, wallabies, and rabbits. Number 4. The largest toad. A group of conservationists captured a giant cane toad in the Australian city of Darwin some years ago. The beast weighed about 1.8 pounds and measured 8 inches long. The animal was captured as part of a mission to capture the invasive species. This poisonous toad is known to wreak havoc on pets and livestock in the area. Introduced to the country from Hawaii in 1935, this crane toad suddenly established itself as one of the costliest alien invasive species in the country's history. This creature didn't stop the beetle outbreak in the country because it couldn't jump high enough to eat the insects. Rather, it fed on amphibians, small mammals, and reptiles. Cane toads are originally from Guyana and Venezuela, but migrated to Hawaii, the southern U.S., and the Caribbean. While some claim this frog releases a hallucinogenic substance, there's no evidence to prove it. Number 5. The Thorny Devil. The Thorny Devil is a creepy animal with orange, brown, yellow, and white markings on its skin. They can change their color depending on their surroundings and the amount of sunlight. They also have horns, which they use to defend themselves against predators. Thorny devils live in grassland and shrub and feed on ants. They're scattered throughout the Shark Bay World Heritage Area, especially in the Red Sands on Paran Peninsula. They adapted to live in harsh environments. Studies show this animal can live up to 20 years or longer. Like other species of dragon lizards, they attract their mates with elaborate courtship rituals like head bobbing and leg waving. In November and December, females prepare to lay their eggs by burrowing in the ground 30 centimeters deep, where they keep their offspring. Their young start to feed almost after hatching, consuming about 1,000 ants in a single meal. Like all reptiles, this animal derives its body heat externally. It achieves this by basking in the sun. Number 6. The Anteater. Also called echidna, the anteater is an egg-laying mammal from Australia and New Guinea. It feeds and breathes through a ball tubular beak that protrudes through its dome-shaped spiny body. The spiny species is found only in Tasmania, Australia. It's got a good sense of smell and is famous for diminishing a termite mound to reach its favorite food. Despite having no teeth, they can swallow up to 35,000 ants and termites whole while grinding up its mouth with specially adapted spines. When threatened, they roll into a ball, exposing their sharp spines. Females give birth to a single sticky egg in a pouch called an incubatory. The eggs hatch 7 to 10 days later. Unlike any bird egg, their eggs are leathery. When the baby's born, it's blind and hairless. However, it remains in the pouch until it's fully formed. It leaves the temporary home 3 weeks later to fend for itself. Spiny anteaters grow 36 to 99 centimeters long, with a 1 centimeter long tail. Number 7. Flying fox. Flying foxes are intelligent animals that help regenerate our forests and keep the ecosystem healthy through seed dispersal and pollination. Therefore, it's safe to say we owe them so much. These migratory animals are so important that other plants and animals rely on them for survival. Like bees, they face climate change, habitat destruction, and other human-induced ecological problems. Unfortunately, many flying foxes are shot to keep them away from fruit trees. Therefore, this animal is listed as vulnerable by animal experts. Despite the dramatic decline in the numbers of gray-headed and spectacled species, state governments have continued to issue orders permitting the shooting of these foxes. Ironically, shooting flying foxes is ineffective and raises cruelty issues. Many victims of this cruelty die days later from dehydration and infection. Flying foxes live in large colonies and fly every night, searching for food. Not only do they feed during this time, but they also perform their sacred pollination duty to ensure the longevity of our bush. Number 8. Inland Taipan. Also nicknamed the fierce snake, the inland taipan measures up to 2.5 meters long. Its upper surface varies from dark brown to a light straw color, but this coloration changes with the summer and winter seasons. These changes are an adaptation to the harsh climate, as the darker markings absorb more heat in winter than in summer. Although this snake species has the most potent venom in the world, they rarely cause human fatalities. While there are occasional bites, there's an anti-venom to treat victims. The inland taipan lives in the black soil plains on the borders of South Australia, Queensland, and the Northern Territory. They feed on small mammals, especially native rats. These rats are subdued by several strikes that inject toxic venom into the rodent. The numbers of this snake species increase when rats experience a good year. However, when their favorite rodents struggle with their population, the snakes perish for lack of food. An inland taipan lays 12 to 20 eggs per clutch in abandoned burrows or deep soil crevices. Number 9. Mythical Goanna. There are about 30 known species of the goanna in the world. Of this figure, 25 are found in Australia. These carnivorous reptiles vary in size and fill several ecological niches. This animal features in countless Australian and Aboriginal folklore. As predatory lizards, they're large and have sharp teeth and claws. The largest known species grows to over 2.5 meters long. Although this animal grows to an incredible length, some breeds are smaller than a man's arm. The smallest, called the pygmy goannas, measure only 8 inches long. Goannas are both scavenging and predatory animals. They prey on any animal they can catch. In fact, farmers have blamed them for killing their sheep, though this may not be true. Like most lizards, this species lays eggs inside termite mounds. This helps to protect their young and ensure they get sufficient food while they live there. Unlike many other lizards, they can't regrow their tails or limbs. Camouflage ranges from speckles, bands, stripes, and splotches. These appearances can change with maturity, as seen in the difference between juveniles and adults. Number 10. The stonefish. The stonefish is the most poisonous fish species in the ocean. They're found in the shallow waters of the northern half of Australia. This fish often lies motionless at the ocean bottom, where it camouflages among surrounding coral, rubble, reef, and aquatic plants. There are two species of stonefish, namely the reef and the estuary stonefish. The reef species is infamous for its ability to kill an adult within 1 hour of being stung. This beast has 13 sharp dorsal fin spines contained within a sheet of thick skin. At the base of each spine are 2 venom glands that discharge their content along ducts in the spine. Swimmers unaware of the stonefish often fall victim to their bite. When a swimmer steps on a stonefish, its multiple spines penetrate the limbs, resulting in extensive envenomation. The pain is excruciating and lasts for many days. Symptoms include shock, difficulty breathing, heart failure, and sometimes death. To prevent their sting, ensure to wear impenetrable footwear, especially at the bottom of the sea. In the event of a sting, ensure to leave the water and seek urgent medical help. Thankfully, there's an antivenom that acts immediately after it's administered. Until next time, adios.